Hey guys, Blee-Bleep here. Oh my gosh, what is this? And welcome to another What If. This What If is different, obviously, because it's a different series I'm doing. Show I'm doing. This is a Little Witch Academia What If, and this What If is what if Akko and Diana's personality were swapped. Now, in case you can tell, this is based off the reverse AU that Blee-Bleep is based off of. Hold on, I'm gonna do a quick look. This dude's thing, yeah, is Blee-Bleep. I will put a link to his Tumblr down in the description. And yes, his Tumblr survived the Tumblr plague, because it's not porn. Anyways, yeah, like I said, it's based off his, hers, whoever it's, I don't know. Yeah, it's based off that person's reverse AU, and their reverse AU is the entire cast of Little Witch Academia personality swapped, essentially. Now, to make this easier on myself, I decided to do Akko and Diana. That way it'd be easier for me to figure out. Anyway, yeah, the link to his fanfiction as well is also down in the description below. I am making this one before I'm reading his fanfiction. But there's like a comic or two that he made that I believe are from his fanfiction. Also from his art as well. So yeah, whatever matches with his fanfiction or the art, I will be showing. Anyways, yeah, to start it off, they're not gonna have their personality at the bat. No, they're gonna keep their personality as a child. All right. So Akko and Diana, they still have their personalities. Well, the personality was basically the same, but this is where it will swap. After the show with Shining Chariot, both Akko and Diana have vowed to themselves that they will be like Shining Chariot and to make people happy with magic and stuff like that. However, the situation is different. Now, Diana has been told that after her mother's death, she needs to basically that she would need to take over, so she would have to get serious. So Diana does. She doesn't lock up her stuff immediately. No, if anything, I believe she does that later on. Anyways, Diana does this. She starts studying and stuff like that. Studying, practicing, studying, and practicing. It isn't until one day Diana realizes that her dream is not starting to become a reality, or not that. Her dream will not be accomplished with this attitude that she has. She's being cold to people, being distant and stuff like that, not being friendly at all. And because of all of this, Diana can't show her appreciation and love for magic. So Diana isn't as happy as she is. Diana doesn't like that. So Diana says to herself that whenever she starts feeling the weight of the household on her when studying, Diana would stop, go to like the stables and play with her horse and stuff like that, to basically wind down. Diana does this until eventually Diana starts, slacking off, preferring to hang out with her horse more than actually doing her work. And so comes the time when she leaves for Lunar Nova. The household, especially Anna, were kind of disappointed in Diana that she wasn't really taking her work too seriously. Even Daryl is, not fond of Diana's work isn't taken too seriously. No, but Anna still likes seeing Diana happy, and while she doesn't approve of, or while she doesn't think it's right that Diana basically slacks off and doesn't take the head of the household seriously, she is glad that Diana is happy, especially after her mother's death. Now, after she goes to Lunar Nova, she goes early, obviously. When she goes to Lunar Nova, it is immediate that people know her as a friendly girl. Essentially, she's friendly, has a good attitude, super glad and stuff like that. She's like that. Diana, she's still impressive in magic. She can still do magic a lot. However, her knowledge of magic isn't as good as it is in the original anime. So now we go back in time to Akko. Akko wants to be like Chariot, obviously, like in the original anime. But as time goes down, Akko keeps practicing, but she can't do anything because, there's no sorcery stone there. People, including her parents, are telling Akko to stop, that it is a dream that she cannot achieve, that the way she's doing this, she won't be able to achieve anything. Akko is just like, no, I'm not gonna listen to you. I will become a witch. I will be just like Shiny Chariot. And after all that negativity that is being thrown on Akko, Akko decides to basically put up some walls, essentially, to like block people out from like that. So Akko just starts studying, you know, her book work and stuff like that. Starts studying, doing all that, so Akko can spend more time practicing. Because of this, you know, Akko studying a lot more, closing people off. Akko becomes cold herself, but she still has that passion for magic. That isn't until Akko finds an opportunity to go to Luna Nova. Akko immediately takes it, even faster than she would in the original anime or manga, whichever. Akko takes it much faster because this is her chance to prove people wrong, that Akko will be a witch and she can make people happy like Shiny Chariot. So Akko goes and stuff like that, and Akko gets lost essentially. It's like an original anime, Akko gets lost, so until she runs into Susie. Now, unlike in the original anime, Akko doesn't run into Susie on the path. No, she runs into her in town. She asks Susie if she knows where the bus stop is to Luna Nova. Susie looks at her confused and stuff like that, just like shakes her head and just walks away. Akko, who is basically cold, she's like, "Hey, I'm talking to you. Do you know where the bus stop to Luna Nova is?" Susie stops and looks at Akko with the kind of a glare at her essentially. And Akko is just like, "You can glare at me all you want. I asked you a question, so at least answer me. If you don't know, just say no." Susie rolls her eyes and just keeps going. Just says, "There's no bus, idiot." And Akko yells back at Susie, well, excuse me, I didn't know there was a bus," and stuff like that. So Akko just follows Susie and just saying, "Since you seem to know the way, I'm gonna follow you instead." Susie just groans and just goes off and just goes. When they reach there, Hannah, Barbara, and Avery are there, and they're talking about what they do in the original anime. Akko hears this, and it's just like in the original anime, they notice Akko and assumes that it's her. And when they're making fun of Akko essentially for not being someone from a witch's family, Akko basically yells back at them, which kind of startles them a little bit. But they just go off ahead. But they just go saying like, whatever, they just leave. Akko, again, like in anime, Akko can't fly a broom. So like in the original anime, Akko tries to climb, but again, more determined, but you know, she falls essentially. And instead of almost crying, Akko just basically is frustrated until she sees Elote. And she asks Elote for help essentially. And Elote just lets Akko on her broom and they go, like in the original anime. Stuff happens. The pickle plum causes them to have some frequency in the ley line, and they get thrown off, running into Susie, and they go into Arcturus Forest. Akko still has the shiny Chariot cards. It's just like in the original anime, she's missing one, the rare premium card that Diana has. However, in this one, Diana takes that card with her and stuff like that. So yeah, everyone knows the appreciation for Diana is to Shiny Chariot. By the way, Akko doesn't really go by Akko in this fanfiction. Yeah, I don't know about that in the original fanfiction, probably. But she's go by Atsuki, but I will refer to her as Akko because it's a lot quicker than saying Atsuko. Yeah, just like how in my Sword Art Online one, when I refer to it as Kirito in real life situations, I don't say Kazuto. I would say Kirito because again it's a lot faster to say and it rolls off the tongue more. Anyways, back to where we were. Again, like in the anime, the card falls into Akko. Akko's like glad that the card is safe. And when Akko knows it's Susie, again she's startled thinking she's dead. And unlike in the original where she kind of like prays a little bit or something like that, she stops it. Well, good riddance. She was annoying. And Susie is obviously he's obviously a bit pissed at Akko essentially. Where was I? Yeah, the situation in the anime happens the same. It happens the same until the part where Akko is basically carrying Susie on her shoulder, and where she gives that little speech. Akko's speech is more on the terms of how everyone's always doubting her, and now she should just give up on her dream. Akko will never give up, and that she will prove them wrong. That she will make people happy with magic. And of course, the rod comes right up, and is given to Akko again. And just like in the original anime, the situations happen. Susie, she doesn't advise Akko, but Lotte basically makes her, just saying like, we can't leave her. Susie just rolls her eyes, groans, and invites her on. And the cockatrice, again like the original anime, burns the broom down, they're falling. The North Oakray, Adamantore, yada yada yada, all that happens, and they're back. During the, ley line to the ceremony, Akko feels that childish feeling in her again, that same feeling that she had as a child. And so when they get there, like in the original anime, Akko does the, is excited, and just, yeah, she basically acts, in that situation, she acts the same as she does in the anime. Diana, however, who is right there, who's on time, sees Akko and sees that twinkle in her eyes, the same twinkle that everyone says that she has in her eyes. And Diana's like, this girl must like magic as much as I do, because that twinkle, I want to befriend that. I want her to be my best friend, essentially. So later on, when Akko's being scolded by, Akko goes back to being proper, essentially saying like, I'm sorry for interrupting, and it's just like, I basically asked them to not kick her out. They don't, and Akko gets back on the team, gets back on red team, properly introduces herself, and yada yada yada. Now I'm letting you know, I might do 2 episodes, maybe 3 episodes for each thing, because yeah. Anyways, when class starts, essentially, everyone sees Akko, who is the girl from the non-witch's lineage. It basically has taken down notes, essentially, basically having that look that Diana has when Diana has in the original anime. Diana, however, she's just like laid back, essentially, kind of falls asleep a little bit during class, and yeah, she's the slacker. And everyone can immediately distinct the two. How Akko, while she's from a non-witch's family, she is focused enough to where she's like the heiress of a witch's family, and Diana is just a slacker, and that is shocking to everybody because she is the heiress to the Cavendish Manor. So lunch rolls around. Akko, she's she's actually talking to Susie and Lotte, and she's saying on how she's surprised at how much bookwork there is for a school like Luna Nova. But Akko accepts the challenge, essentially, to learn more about all this and stuff like that. Diana goes up to them and basically introduces her to Akko. But Hannah and Barbara, they're kind of not really approving, but they still go with her regardless. So after a bit of a brief introduction with each other, Diana asks Akko if she loves magic at all and stuff like that. Akko obviously says that she does, and that she is going to be a witch like Shining Chariot. And this lights up Diana even more, seeing how she's a fan of Shining Chariot and how everybody doesn't really like Chariot. So Diana goes off on Akko, essentially, being the fan of Shining Chariot. Akko's surprised to see another Chariot fan as well. So she kind of, is kind of glad, essentially. Eventually saying that she found the shiny rod. And Diana is asking Akko to see it. So Akko agrees. They go out into the same place in the anime, essentially. Akko shows Diana the rod, and Diana's like surprised, glad, and a little jealous of Akko that Akko got the rod. And Diana asks Akko to try magic. Akko says sure. Akko says sure because she thinks because she has the rod, she can do magic, like kind of like in the original anime. However, Akko doesn't know the proper spell, so like in the original anime, she just says like statue move, and it doesn't work. She gets laughed at again, but instead of looking like she's going to cry, Akko looks at the rod confused, like why isn't it working? It worked last time, so why isn't it working now? Diana, who is like looking at Akko and seeing the laughter around her, she's like, maybe I should help her essentially. So Diana used the proper spell, but she whispered it under her breath, and so the statue moves and stuff like that. Everyone is aghast at this. It wasn't until Hannah sees Diana putting her wand away, and it yells out that it was Diana who did the spell. And everyone's looking at Diana. Well, the other students are looking at Diana, surprised on how the slacker can know a spell like that. But then they immediately remember that she is the heiress of the Cavendish household. She may be a slacker, but she might have talent. But she might be talented in magic. It's kind of a waste, but like in the original anime, they cheer for Diana right there. But Diana's kind of looks shocked on how they're basically giving that to her, and before she can say anything, Akko gets up and walks straight to the library, essentially pushing or shoving, essentially shoving Diana with her shoulder, essentially, to show that Akko is not going to be friendly. Diana looks at Akko after she shoves her for the shoulders. And it's just like, and she's thinking like, I didn't want this to happen. I wanted to be her friend. So the event with the tree happens the same. Diana wants to help the tree, and so while trying to remember the spell, Hannah and Barbara mentions the spell name, which brings back Diana's memory. They do that spell. Same thing happens. However, back in the library, Akko feels the tremble from the roots. She immediately goes outside and see where it's coming from. Or see the roots and see it's coming from the Jennifer tree. She goes over there and Diana is already shooting the pods essentially. Because like in the original anime, she thinks it's a parasite or something like that. She thinks that the pods are bad. But Akko immediately recognizes them, or at least the symbol from one of the dead ones, and gets in front of Diana saying to stop. These are not what they are. Diana asks what does Akko mean, and Akko tells her that these are the magic butterfly or something like that. I do not know the name. I'm not going to try to pronounce it, by the way. Diana is kind of surprised, but it's like, no. It's like, no, it can't be. These are the thing that's causing it. So she just goes to shoot another one. But Akko runs in front of her, and like in the original anime, it's hit right in the chest. And so when Diana basically scoops her up, she puts her hand on her chest, and she feels basically the burn on her chest. And Diana is apologizing immensely for this. And Akko is just like, you should have listened to me. I may not know much, but I know this. And then the rod starts shining again, and then and Akko knows what to do essentially. However, she doesn't know the proper pronunciation. Diana basically tells her the proper pronunciation, and Akko glares at Diana with the glare that says, I didn't ask for your help. And so they do the spell. The magic butterfly comes back out. Yada yada yada. The same thing happens. Villain and Helbrick, I think that's her name, they congratulate Diana for helping, but Diana immediately stops them. It's like it wasn't her, that it was Akko who did it. Hannah and Barbara, they're basically saying no, it was Diana, but Diana is persistent. It's really persistent on that it was Akko. So they go to her, basically not really punishing Diana, but they're basically saying thank you for trying to help, essentially. So they find Akko on the way back, who's basically being held up by Susie and Lotte, who were there to witness the entire situation. They stop her and they thank Akko for helping as well, and they explain that it was Diana who told them that Akko helped. Akko is like, says you're welcome and basically wants to go to the nurse. And they do, they basically help take Akko to the nurse. After Akko recover, Akko's like, Diana seems like she's a dunce, but she's pretty smart. Guess she makes a perfect rival then. And Diana, while she's back in her room, she's thinking to herself that while she had her hand on Akko's chest, she felt the burn that was from the spell. But when thinking about it, Diana's blushing a bit. I'm basically saying on how she was basically touching a girl's breast. While it wasn't in anything sexual or something like that, Diana was just blushing because, you know, she's touching another girl's breast. And that is where I'll end it. Again, that was only 2 episodes, but I also added in a prologue for it as well. Anyway, yeah, this is basically my rendition of the reverse AU. Again, this is the Blee-Bleep edition version of the reverse AU. My version of Blee-Bleep's version of the reverse AU, because the other one is basically it's almost completely reversed. Again, this one is just their personalities. So yeah. Anyways, if you want more, be sure to click that like and that subscribe button. Go ahead and check out Blee-Bleep's art on Tumblr as well as his fan fiction. I'm gonna make another one before I start reading his. So yeah. Anyway guys, Fireblade here and I will see you later, whatever I make. Oh, and Blee-Bleep, if you are watching this, thank you for watching it, man. And thank you for actually making this fan for this AU, because your art, it is pretty freaking good, man. Anyway, yeah, Fireblade here and I will see you later, whatever I make. Bye!